How's it going, everybody? This is a very interesting video to make, and I'm not sure how you guys are going to react to it. So let me know in the comment section below if you like or dislike what we're going to be talking about here today. Because they are bringing back the cooperative raids, Annihilation Raid Omega. This is the raid where the bulk of your rewards are determined by how much of the raid you clear as a collective, as opposed to the node rewards we currently get. And I think because of the individual raids we've been doing for the last few months, a lot of players, myself especially, have gotten really lazy, and I'm worried some of us are not going to be hitting that final 100% completion like we used to do because we were conditioned to finish raids. Very curious your opinions on that, but let's see what they got to tell us. Increase your Gear 220 supplies with the new Annihilation Omega Raid. This raid is teaming with determined enemies, but you'll take home more rewards for your efforts. Here's how the Omega Raid works. Okay, so we're not getting purple ISO 4 or 5. It's still going to be predominantly Gear Tier 20. This is not bad, because like a lot of people definitely don't have their entire roster Gear Tier 20, let alone like 25% of it. There's a lot of characters I would still like to put Gear 20 on for like Tech and Mystic and Bio and Mutant characters, not so much skill, but the others for sure. So more Gear Tier 20 is good, but it's not as fun, not as exciting to chase as a new progression path would be. I think that is something that we are missing a lot from these sort of new game modes and new takes, like new versions of a raid, right? We used to get the newest progression path as engaging, as part of engaging with the mode. I guess we'll probably get, sigils here, and we do know sigils will eventually get, we'll eventually be able to purchase ISO 4 and 5 with them in the Chapter 3 store, like near the tail end. So I guess you can look at it from that regard, but still, everyone's getting the same then. It's kind of weird, right? I miss chasing the most recent progression path, but that's a whole other conversation. Let me know what you guys feel about that, though. Are you happy with Gear 220 as the chase, or would you rather it be a mixture of Gear 220 and even a small amount of purple ISO 4 and 5, right? All right, it's going to use the same energy as the current Annihilation Raid, so that does mean that before this raid starts, you're not going to want to launch the current individual difficulty selector one, unless you're sticking with that one. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on some rewards. You're also going to have to be organized by then. Rewards are based on alliance completion percentages, as opposed to node rewards. We talked about that. Possesses the additional difficulty 10, which requires the new immortal weapons team. So new difficulty requiring the new team, but the others don't? That'd be good. Each strike team features 6 lanes. Here's a look at the new Omega lanes. Okay, so we're down to 6, which does make sense. This is the same as the chaotic raids, but we have way less nodes. Let's count this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my god. 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh. And we're missing one. So what is it? It's 30 minus 4 on each side. So 26. So 52 total. 52 nodes split between 8 members is tough. 8 times 8 is 64. So what I'm thinking right now is we do have, I can actually show you in game right now, we do have that daily checklist that we got to do, right? For our objectives, where we have to do 8 nodes here. Now, you don't have to do this to complete your strike pass, but if you don't do this, then you have to start doing these 2. And as you can see, lots of people like to kind of hoard energy and stuff like that. So that could become problematic. We also have the events. I actually don't think there's one running right now, where we just had the Hobgoblin event, right? Where you wanted to use the Insidious 6 team a certain amount of times in raids. Yeah, we don't have one running right now. But you wanted to use the Insidious 6 team in a certain amount of raid nodes, and if you did that as an alliance collectively, you would get like a grand total of 25 Hobgoblin shards, as well as a bunch of Gear Tier 20. I think it was like 6 orbs or something like that for free to play, if you did it enough. This is going to make that a little bit harder to manage. Now, the final boss is kind of freestyle, same with Spotlight. So what we've been doing with Spotlight, right, is we've been getting to the final boss, we've been throwing our hot bodies at it and just not beating the node, and that way we would help for this event for ourselves and our alliances. We might have to start doing that on both raids, which is kind of yucky, but it is what it is. We'll figure that out as we go. Maybe they'll just stop doing those sort of events too. That would probably be preferential, and maybe they can reduce the daily objectives raids count. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but yeah, less nodes for people in them is going to be very interesting. All right, and actually, I don't know how much raid energy we're going to get. If the raid, oh, it's the same raid energy, not same raid tickets. Oh, So we're still going to be getting like 9 energy a day. Who knows about the tickets? Okay, that's good. That's a little bit of clarification there. Okay, Omega Missions Checklist. Put your top squads on high alert because you'll need major firepower to brave the enemies that await in Omega. The purple ISO 8 requirements won't increase for Omega, so there's no need to upgrade level 4 and level 5. Great. For this raid. Oh, oh, hold up. You got to take note of words like this, guys. When they say this sentence, for this raid, first of all, thank you so much for the transparency. This tells me for the next raid, you're probably going to need level 4 or level 5 for certain difficulties. So keep that in your mind. Still just hunt your Blue Marvel for sure. But for the next raid, this is probably something we're going to be seeing. Here's a rundown of the traits by difficulty. So for difficulties 0 and 2, 0 to 2 rather, there's no restrictions. Difficulties 3 to 7, we get very broad restrictions. We got skill, global, mutant, mutant, biotech, tech, mystic, mystic, and then no restrictions. Difficulty 8 and 9, we see the same restrictions we have in the current Annihilation raids with the immortal weapons added, and they're added at the very end and no restrictions. For difficulty 10, it's all the restrictions from the current Annihilation raids, but Night Stalkers have been removed in lieu of the immortal weapons. This is fine. This is exactly what you would expect. This is what happened with Orcus. This is what happened with whatever the other team is, the Extreme X-Men, right? So that's perfectly fine. And I really appreciate that they're putting it on the final 2 nodes because they have in the past put it like right in the middle where it'd be like nodes 5 and 6. And that's not great because as the cooperative raid works, your alliance leader sets the difficulty. And you have to do that difficulty for every single node. So if your alliance leader wants to difficulty 10, because there's more rewards if you can hit like 75%, than if you hit 100% on difficulty 9, then you could get there and you're stuck and you can't do anything else. So by putting those nodes at the very tail end, it is definitely a player-friendly change, and I can appreciate that. So shout out to them for at least thinking that through. As you can see, all nodes are required in Omega to achieve 100% completion. There are 2 new nodes for the Mystic section, and on difficulty 10, Immortal Weapons are required to complete the raid. Remember that you cannot scale down your difficulty on the individual nodes with the Omega raids to work with your alliance leaders to coordinate which difficulty you want to try. That's exactly what I just talked about, right? And that's why they moved the Immortal Weapons, rather, they moved the Mystic section to the tail end of the raid. You'll probably still be able to hit like 75%. If you don't have Immortal Weapons, but a couple people in your alliance do. And we'll have to check the rewards. We'll have to check, does difficulty 10, 75% completion, give more rewards than difficulty 9, 100%? In the past, I don't think it has, but I guess we're going to find out. All right, Annihilation 2 raid updates. Also heading your way are a couple of minor updates to the Annihilation 2 raid. The Mystic node is moving to the end of the lane, right before the bonus nodes. Night Stalker missions now allow the Immortal trait. Annihilation 2 raid updates. Is that our current raid? Again, let's go back in game. Let's go over to the raids. It is Annihilation Raid 2. So they're going to be changing up how this works. The Mystic section, which is the first section, right, is going to go all the way up to the top section. Again, that is a player-friendly change, and I celebrate that sort of thing. Basically, why that is a player-friendly change is because if you're a new player who's starting the game right now, Night Stalkers now they're still a great team, but they came a much, much lower priority. So by moving them to the tail end, what you're doing is you're allowing your newer players to sort of build them at their leisure as opposed to having to build them for raid use. So that's good. All right, let's continue on. Oh, that's it. That's all we need to know. All right, charge into Annihilation Raid Omega. The Omega updates go live on November 7th, so power up your squads and tackle the Omega Raid to earn even more gear to 20 pieces. Again, not sure how much more gear to 20 pieces, but more gear to 20 pieces, and that's good. But here's my concern, guys. If I didn't have to log into the game to make this video to show stuff in-game, I would still be down on this node, and honestly, if I get busy with work, or if I get busy with the kids, it's not impossible I completely miss these 3 nodes. Under the Omega structure, this would hurt my alliance, which does incentivize me to get this done a lot sooner, and I'll fall back into the habit of getting it all done. But currently, for myself and for a lot of players, missing out on like 430 orb frags, or even just if we do all 9 nodes, or that 9, like 3,600, it's not even 2 orbs of gear to 20, right? Some people, like, I don't know who's missing this right now, but I'm not mad at them. I'm not upset. They're not hurting the collective right now. Because honestly, the difference in 60% rewards and 90% rewards, it doesn't matter. In the Omega raids, this is no longer the case. I guess a good example would be to go look at Spotlight raids, right? So if we look at the spotlight raids, we're getting, 2.5 here. We're getting 550,000, 30 T4s, 20 of these, 23, 23. Well, if we go to difficulty, sorry, if we start doing 100%, well, the rewards are they're not very much. This is a very little difference. I don't know, maybe the rage reward structures are just broken. I don't know. But that is an interesting difference. And we have a lot of people who miss nodes regularly now, whereas, 6 months ago when we had the Chaotic Storm Omega, nobody missed. And we hit 100% every single day. So I'm curious to see what the fallout is going to be for some players kind of getting conditioned to be allowed to be lazy. Let me know your thoughts on that and how you feel about the Omega raids coming back. Let me know what you think about Gear Tier 20 still being the chase in raids, and how much more Gear Tier 20 would we need to get for you to, get more involved with a cooperative Omega raid structure. All right, guys, I hope this video found you well. Hope you're happy, healthy, having yourselves a wonderful day. Have a good Halloween, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.